Burbex.
Hi, welcome back to Burbex, Brin's Urban Exploration. Today we are exploring this enormous steelworks in the countryside in China. This place was built in the 1970s, but it's been abandoned for about the last 20 years. The best thing about this place, the very heart and soul of this place, is the blast furnace, which we're going to make our way to during this video. Don't forget, if you love urban exploration videos with a China twist, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And when you subscribe, don't forget to ding, ding, ding that bell for great new videos from Burbex, Brin's Urban Exploration every week. Let's go. There's cameras over there. 3 of them. Maybe one there as well.
Don't worry, let's go straight.
This wall here, right? Keep low. Here, hold this a minute. That chain was a piece of shit. It's still turned on.
It's still turned on?
Yeah. But I don't see any cameras. I have no idea what it does. Fire funnel. I like that. Took us about an hour and a half to figure out a way to get in here. Mostly because not only does it have very sharp razor fences, but also electric wire on top. Finally, however, we were able to find a way in. I don't think that's working anymore. I don't know, it feels a bit more open here. I don't think anybody's here. Holy shit, this is huge. This used to be the largest steelworks in this area. Half of the place is still live, but most of it is dead. We're going to try and get in there. What do you think? That one over there?
Yeah, why not?
It's a little bit open. Maybe we should go that way. This building feels like it might be alive. You can see it's still got the AC units on it. Look at this water tower. That's a really big water tower. I wonder what the capacity of it is. We might be able to get in it. huge water tower. Everything is giant here. Where's the door? There's the door. Is the door open? Oh no, of course it's a fucking ladder. No, it'd take us too long to go up there. It's huge. There's all kinds of machine parts in here though. What's this thing? Oh, looks like the case for a nuclear weapon. Oh, no nuclear weapons, just... So it took us about an hour and a half, 2 hours to sneak into this place. Very difficult to get into because there's these very sharp perimeter fences everywhere. It's got electric fences on top, almost impossible to get into. Like I said, we were looking around for about 90 minutes, 2 hours, and we found like a little bit of a chink in the armor of this place, and we were actually able to sneak in. This is the best industrial site that I visited in 2021. I hope you're going to enjoy it. Let's go take a look. There's a sign here which says, "Be careful of strong farts." You know, I'm out again with Robin. We came here last week trying to get in, but we couldn't figure out a way in. Robin took some awesome drone shots last week, so I'll include those in the video. It will really give you a sense of how gigantic this place is. This looks like it leads us up inside one of the buildings. Hey. Oh my goodness, look how rotten this metal is. Probably better to take the stairs. Jesus, it's so hot. There's thunder coming later. Everything here is on such a gigantic scale, it's hard to comprehend what it was all used for. I don't know. There's 3 of these enormous blocks with holes in them. Again, if you have any idea what these things are for, feel free to leave it in the comments. Maybe some kind of filtration unit? Here. I think we can get to the top of the building from here. Wow! There's these enormous weights attached to the ceiling. There's a bed here as well. Can you imagine sleeping in a place like this? It's nice and cool at least. This plant has been closed down for about 10 to 20 years. It was first opened in the late 1970s, and at the beginning it was the largest steel plant in this area. Since then it's changed hands many times. Originally it was a state-owned company, and then it changed into private hands, and eventually most of it was shut down. Most of what you can see here, these ruins, are in fact from the 1970s and the early 80s. This is a real time capsule we're exploring right now. 请戴安全帽. Please wear a helmet. Ooh. A lot of plants like this have actually been closed down. These would have been more centralized in cities before, but now they're being moved out of the cities and kind of pushed into western areas where pollution regulations are lower. So this would have been a heavy polluter in this city a long time ago, and now this city is actually quite clean. Look, these are the replacement wheels or the bearings for this machine. Look how ancient these things look. Everything here is just falling apart. Another few years, it'll just be a pile of rust. Oh, wow!
You didn't notice about that?
Look how this machine has just fallen apart. Look at these gigantic tubes. All leads up to that central chimney. 1970s style. We're coming into the oldest part of the plant right now. You can see there's a change in design style. Look at this guard box over here. That bright green communist color. Oh, look, this looks like an original helmet, probably from the 80s. This is a logo for this plant. Too small and dirty to put on my big head though. One of the things I love when I come to abandoned factories is these cooling ponds, which usually get overgrown very quickly. In the last one, we saw that there were koi carp in one. This one looks kind of empty though. Helmets everywhere. It's an office. Offices are always the best place because you can find more of the humanity in these places. This stuff is called Lao Gan Ma, which is like spicy chili sauce. Lao Gan Ma is this old lady that you can see on here. In fact, she couldn't read and write, but she still launched a successful business to become one of the richest women in China. There's actually a joke about university students in China that because they have no access to pornography here in China, they actually pick up a jar of Lao Gan Ma and beat their meat to the image of Lao Gan Ma, the old lady. At least you could say she's spicy. Again. This thing's such a piece of shit. So you can see this train around me is actually covered in ceramic tiles. That's because it would have been carrying around molten steel. Around the base around here as well, we can see that there's some steel molds. All of the steel would be coming down here into this train and then down into those molds down there, and they would be moved around the factory. This would have been a very dangerous part of the factory, in fact. If you look here, you can see where the molten steel has come down from the top of the factory. I just noticed there's a control room at the top. You've got the control panel here for the machine. You can see Robin's down there taking photos. Some kind of remote control. Maybe a remote control for one of the machines. Just found this remote control. I think it's a remote control for a crane. You can see there's like 2 joysticks on it. There's a stop button as well, and there's some charging points on the side as well. It just feels so chunky, so good. This place is weird because there's so many animal noises. It sounds like the place is falling down. So it sounds like there's people everywhere, but there's not. This building is creaking in the wind. Coming up to some of the really old parts of the factory again. Up here it says, Anquan Shi Gu Wei Shima 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 Shangming Yuan Li Wei Jiang. It's really fascinating how nature seems to be taking over this plant again. Everywhere there are plants and flowers coming out of the ground, coming out of the walls. Rust is flaking off everywhere. I even saw a rabbit run through here just now. Give it another 20 years and this place will just be a huge pile of rust. It's one of the super old helmets. Whoa, lots of helmets. Helmets everywhere. Whoa, red ones, white ones, old ones, new ones. Helmets. What have we got here? Forbidden to touch. Oh, too late. We've been exploring for about 2 hours now, and we're still just scratching the surface of what's here. One of the things we've got to pay real attention to is pieces of metal falling off the buildings above us, hitting us in the head and killing us. That seems to be one of the main risks here. As long as we stay out in the open, we should be fine though. Holy crap, look at this monstrous machine. That is a blast furnace. That I want to get into. What we're going to do is figure out a way to get up there without shit falling on our head and killing us. Over here. Behind us, we just found the base for a blast furnace. We'd love to be able to go up, but this whole thing is literally falling apart underneath our feet as we walk. It makes me feel a bit sentimental because one of my first explorations ever on this channel was to a blast furnace in Beijing at a place called Capital Steel, Shogang. Since then, it's been converted into the Winter Olympic headquarters for the Winter Olympics next year. If you want to check that out, you can see it in the video in the top right-hand corner. This space feels a little bit too dangerous. Yeah, I'm not walking on that. Gonna go and try and find that blast furnace. The blast furnace, this is like the heart of one of these plants. Whoa, Robin, you should come up here. We'll go to the blast furnace. Oh, there's lots of helmets in here. Look at these. Even ones with visors. Oh, yes. Controls, controls, controls. Look at this. I'm in here. We're in the control room. These look like they're all the fuses for the different parts of the blast furnace. Look, this one says, when the steel has finished. Wow, it's like in the Alien games. An even bigger one. I like this one. One of the things that's often difficult to show in videos is the scale of these places. And also how dangerous it is. You can see we've got Robin here for some scale. This place is huge. It seems to be some kind of computer. Did you see this computer? It's the control booth. It's got very basic functions. This part is incredible, right? Because you've got to imagine this is the blast furnace. This is where all the heat is heating up the steel. The molten steel is coming down this track here, down like that, if we can follow it, and then down further into the plant down there where it will be molded. It would have been so hot in here. And look, you can see the effect that it had on here. You can see the effect that it had on the sand at the bottom. Look at these chains as well. I wonder what they were used for. When this thing was operating, it would have been thousands of degrees. It blows my mind that all of this has just been left here to rot. Because these machines, as well as being incredibly useful, are incredibly beautiful. You know, I've taken you to a lot of abandoned industrial places before. Something you might not realize is that blast furnaces are my #1 favorite thing when it comes to urban exploring in industrial locations. It's like the rusting metal heart of the plant, and I'm always so happy when I find them. They look almost organic with all the veins and stuff. They They almost look organic with all the metal veins and arteries coming out of them. It's a beautiful piece of machinery. Love them every time. And we're going to be super careful up here because this place is falling apart. And my batteries just ran out of my gimbal. Hooray! Gonna have to go handheld. There we go, going handheld now, which is probably good because that gimbal keeps falling apart. We are so lucky to visit this place today. What's up? We're in the second level of the furnace now. Looks much more dangerous than the first level, that's for sure. Look, the floor has collapsed in that area. But let's keep going. These stairs look okay. Oh, look, we got onto another level. 单线货什么 I can feel the ground crumbling beneath my feet. And the higher we go, the more rotten it's getting. This is a really bad idea, but let's try it anyway. You see there's all the channels that the molten steel would have been going through. I have a pretty great view. There's one of the water towers. I don't think we can go up any higher. It's too dangerous. There's a very good reason why this place is so difficult to get into, and it's because it's so dangerous. I'm super high up right now. The wind is blowing, it's starting to rain, and I can feel this whole blast furnace structure moving beneath my feet. It's very intimidating. I seem to have lost all sense of scale right now. Oh man, it's getting way too dangerous now. You see all this wind blowing, it's going to blow some of the sheets, some of the sheet metal off. Might land on our heads. Got to get out of here. What's in there? A steel plant in the rain is the last place you want to be.